From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is 1011's Morning Pulse.
Sponsored by Murray Roofing.
Good morning. This is Craig Allison with your Morning Pulse for Monday, September 15th. Our first story this morning on the international side, President Donald Trump has posted on his social media site that a meeting between U.S. and Chinese officials went well, saying a deal was reached regarding a certain company that young people in our country very much wanted to save. Of course, this ahead of Wednesday's deadline to determine whether the popular social media app TikTok remains available in the U.S. or goes away. This is where that possible deal could go. Congress passed a law last year requiring TikTok's parent company ByteDance to sell the app to an American buyer or face a ban in the U.S. The law was supposed to take effect months ago, but the Trump administration has repeatedly extended his executive order, delaying that. So we'll continue to keep you updated on this at 1011 Now. Your second story this morning, the UNL Center on Children, Families, and Law says after the steady decline from 2012 to 2023, homelessness in Lincoln has risen in the past 2 years. This research at the center was conducted through a single night counts of homeless people in the city, totaling 542 this year, but this is just counting those who were living on the streets. There's also more than 1,900 people living in a shelter or housing program in this most recent count night. When the pandemic ended, so did some of the funding for housing, and wages for many working households have not kept pace with the cost of housing. And we'll have more of this story on our website, 1011now.com. Third story, Nebraska Representative Mike Flood talked all things on the murder of Charlie Kirk, the looming government shutdown, and ongoing farm bill negotiations on a press call with state media. He hopes to get through to the government funding situation before focusing on farm bill negotiations, however, adding parts of Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill signed in July had aspects that would make the farm bill successful. Your fourth story, a lot of sports wins from this weekend in Nebraska, but over in Vegas, Terence Crawford from Omaha became the first male boxer to capture 3 unified division titles when he defeated Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision Saturday night to win the super middleweight championship. This was before an announced record crowd of 70,482. 2 judges awarded Crawford the match 115-113 and the third 116-112. Associated Press scored the fight 118-110 in favor of the 37-year-old from Omaha. Nebraska is certainly proud. And wrapping things up with your final story, if you hadn't already heard from over the weekend, Lincoln's Museum of American Speed has been named the best motor racing museum in the country, according to a vote by Newsweek readers. The museum is made up of about 300,000 square feet of gallery space filled to the brim with just about any kind of car you could think of on top of other motor vehicles. Museum's curator says it's all about automotive archaeology, showing off what the automobile means to America throughout its history, dating back to the 1920s. The museum has been around since the 1950s and has been growing ever since, becoming a 501c3 nonprofit in 2000. Well, that is your Morning Pulse for this Monday morning, and we'll wrap things up with a look at your 7-day forecast. Rain chances coming up throughout this week.
You've been listening to 1011's Morning Pulse. Watch, listen, stream on the 1011 Now app, on YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Sponsored by Murray Roofing.